So what's your question?
What qualifications do you need for your job?
Right, well, because now do you all love history?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to love it because there's a lot, okay? So when I started out, when you're in school, I chose history and what's called classics, which is Greeks and Romans, which is really cool and exciting as well. You do a lot of drama as well with that. So it's not just reading books, you do drama, artwork, that kind of thing. And then when you get to university, you have to choose kind of what history degree you do. But when you do your history degree, when it's like a school for adults at university, you do all sorts of things. You do a little bit of archaeology, you do a little bit of digging, you do a little bit of archive, you do a little bit of what's called conservation, which is where you keep all the old objects safe. And then eventually you do what's called a master's degree, which is another degree where you can look at one thing. And then if you want, I haven't done this yet, halfway there, you can do what's called a PhD. So after 5 years of university, but there's probably another 3 to 5 years to do it. And a PhD is where you become like an expert on something. Like for example, my friend is an expert on holes in skulls. And that is what she's an expert in. And that's what she does, yeah. So there you go. Yes, what's your question?
What did you do before you had this job?
Nothing. Technically I worked in a bar, in a pub, to pay my way through university, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I always wanted to work in a museum and to work in history, so that's what I did. What's your question?
What's the interesting facts about the Greeks that you like and why?
So what's the best thing that I like about the job? Oh, well, it's got to be
The history.
it's the history of, yeah, but it's got, you know when you have something that you've read about in a book, a real object, an artifact, and then suddenly you walk into a room and there's one there, not behind glass, it's just there. So it could be, I remember when I first came across a mummy,
Oh my god.
and I wasn't doing anything with it, but they had it out, they were cleaning the mummy. And it was the first time I'd ever been in a room that a dead body was in that didn't have glass behind it. And some people would be freaked out by it, but I actually got this thing, I was like, oh, I love this job, this is brilliant. Yeah, so it was absolutely fantastic. Okay, what's your question?
Where is your job?
Where is it? My job is in what's called an archive in a museum in Durham, and it's part of the university. So you get to work. My job really is to try and get people to come and visit the museum. So it's part of that. But you get people, you work with archaeologists, you work with classicists who are like Greeks and Romans and people like that. And your job is basically just to try and understand history and then to teach people about history so that people who are interested in it can find out more. Yes?
Are you good at your job?
I like to think so. I hope so. Our job is to try and get as many people through the doors as possible, and we currently try and get about over 20,000 school children a year to work with us. And we try to get, I think, roughly about 150,000 visitors a year, which for a little museum in Durham is not bad, I think. Yeah. So yes, we're all very good at our job. Yes.